What if I told you that everything you've learned about money, from how to make it, save it, grow it, you're missing one critical ingredient? Not a finance degree, not a budgeting app, not even a hot stock tip. I'm talking about your mindset. Yeah, the stuff happening inside your head every single time you make a financial choice. Because here's the truth most people don't talk about. Money decisions are emotional first, logical second. This video isn't about tracking expenses or becoming a day trader. It's about something way deeper, the way your psychology shapes your entire financial future. And if you stay with me for the next 12 minutes, you're going to learn 7 life-altering money lessons that completely transformed how I view, use, and grow money. These aren't theories. They're real-world truths I wish someone had told me sooner. Truths that could save you years of financial stress and regret. So let's dive in. You ever look at someone blowing cash on dumb stuff and think, what the hell are they doing? Like that friend who got their first paycheck and immediately booked a luxury weekend trip when their credit card balance is already screaming for help. Or the coworker who refuses to grab coffee with the team because they're saving money, yet they drive a car that costs more than your annual salary. But here's what changed my entire perspective. Everyone has a money story. What you saw growing up, your parents fighting over bills, maybe living paycheck to paycheck, or maybe hoarding every penny like the world was ending, shapes your money behavior today. When I was a kid, I watched my dad stretch every rupee like magic. We didn't talk about investing or saving. We talked about survival. Every purchase was a calculation. Every expense was scrutinized. So when I started earning my own money, I did something that surprised even me. I splurged. I bought things I didn't need just to feel like I finally had control. A new phone when my old one worked fine. Shoes I wore once. Dinner at places I couldn't afford. Was it smart? Hell no. Was it emotional? Absolutely. And guess what? So is everyone else's money behavior. That's why judging someone's money moves without knowing their backstory is completely pointless. Your friend who's obsessed with saving might be healing from childhood instability. The one YOLOing into crypto might be trying to escape the 9-to-5 grind they hate. The person flexing designer brands might be compensating for feeling invisible growing up. Once I understood this, that money behavior is almost never about money, I stopped judging others. More importantly, I started forgiving myself. Your money story isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility to rewrite it. Social media messes with your money mindset more than you realize. One scroll through Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, and suddenly you feel like a complete loser because some 19-year-old just flipped $500 into $50,000 with Dogecoin. Or you see someone your age buying their 3rd rental property while you're still splitting rent with roommates. I used to fall into that trap too. I'd see these highlight reels and think, what am I doing wrong? But then I learned this game-changing truth. We're not playing the same game. You might be trying to build long-term wealth that lets you retire comfortably at 50. They might be chasing internet clout that evaporates in 6 months. You might want financial freedom in 15 years so you can spend time with your kids. They want likes this weekend so they feel validated. Think about it this way. Imagine watching a basketball game and then trying to copy a rugby player's moves. That's what most of us do when we blindly follow viral money trends. The trust fund kid who retired at 25? Different game. They started with advantages you didn't have. The crypto millionaire who quit their job? Different risk tolerance. Maybe they had a safety net, or maybe they got lucky on a bet that could have destroyed them. Here's what you need to do. Define the game you want to play. Are you saving for a house? Retiring early? Funding your own business? Building generational wealth? Creating freedom to travel? Once you know your game, the noise fades. You stop comparing. You stop doubting yourself. You make better moves because they're your moves, aligned with your goals, not someone else's Instagram story. Stop measuring your chapter 3 against someone else's chapter 20. You don't even know what book they're writing. There was a time when I genuinely thought that if I just had more money, I'd finally be happy. So I worked more, hustled harder, sacrificed sleep, weekends, relationships, all for the next income goal. I told myself, once I hit $5,000 a month, I'll relax. Then it was $10,000, then $15,000. And you know what happened? The goalposts kept moving, until one night, I looked at my bank balance, the highest it had ever been, And I thought, why do I still feel empty? That's when I stumbled on one of the most powerful ideas I've ever encountered: the enough rule. Most of us don't define what enough actually means. And when there's no finish line, the race literally never ends. You keep chasing promotions, bigger houses, flashier cars, not because you need them, but because you don't know how to say, "I'm good." Society teaches us that more is always better, but nobody teaches us how to define enough. So ask yourself right now, what does enough look like for me? Is it being debt-free? Is it having $10,000 in savings so you can finally sleep at night? Is it working 4 days a week instead of 6 so you can actually see your family? Is it being able to take a vacation once a year without feeling guilty? Is it having enough passive income to cover your basic expenses? Define it. Write it down. Burn it into your brain. Because here's the brutal truth. If you don't define enough, your ego will. And ego is never, ever satisfied. Your ego will always find someone with more to compare yourself to. It'll always convince you that happiness is just one more purchase, one more promotion, one more zero in your bank account away. The enough rule isn't about settling or lacking ambition. It's about intentional living. It's about knowing when you've won your own game. You know what's way cooler than making money fast? Making money slowly and consistently. Let me explain. Because this lesson literally changed my entire approach to wealth. I used to think wealth came from hitting it big. A winning stock pick, a business that goes viral, some overnight success story. I was obsessed with finding the shortcut, the hack, the secret strategy that would 10x my money in a year. But then I saw something wild. The richest, most peaceful people I met weren't flashy. They didn't brag about their wins on social media. They just started early and stayed insanely patient. That's compounding. It's not sexy. It's not exciting. It's actually pretty boring. But it's absolutely unstoppable. Albert Einstein supposedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. And once you see it in action, you understand why. Investing just $200 a month might not feel like much. You might think, what's the point? That's nothing. But over 20 years, with average market returns, that's the difference between financial stress and financial freedom. That's potentially over $100,000. Meanwhile, the person trying to get rich quick usually ends up broke quick. And here's the thing, compounding works for everything, not just money. One book won't change your life, but reading 50 books over 3 years, total transformation. One workout won't change your body, but showing up 4 times a week for a year, new identity. One conversation won't fix your relationship, but consistent communication over months and years, unbreakable bond. Compounding rewards the consistent, not the extreme. If you want to change your money game, start boring. Automate your investments. Set up systems. Then stay patient and let time do the heavy lifting. The person who invests $500 a month for 30 years will beat the person who tries to time the market every single time. Boring wins. Consistency wins. Time wins. Let me hit you with a brutal truth that most people don't want to admit. Most of us aren't buying stuff to enjoy it. We're buying it to impress other people. And we don't even realize we're doing it. We want the designer shoes, the upgraded iPhone, the luxury car, the corner office, not for their actual function, but for what they signal to others. We think these things will make people respect us, admire us, see us as successful. But here's the twist that nobody talks about. People don't admire you for owning a Tesla. They admire the Tesla. They don't see you. They see your stuff. It's called the invisible status trap, and it's one of the fastest ways to stay broke while looking rich. I learned this the hard way. I once spent money I didn't have on things I didn't need, trying to impress people who weren't even paying attention. New clothes for events I barely wanted to attend, expensive dinners to show I made it, a watch that cost more than my rent. And for what? Temporary validation that disappeared the second someone else showed up with something shinier. Here's what actually lasts. Integrity, character, peace of mind, a bank account that lets you sleep at night instead of stressing over minimum payments. Real wealth is invisible. It's the freedom to say no, the ability to take a year off if you need to, the security of knowing you'll be okay if everything goes wrong. The irony? The people you're trying to impress are too busy trying to impress other people to even notice you. Don't trade real wealth for fake applause. Here's what no one tells you when you start adulting. Everything will cost more than you expect. Everything will take longer than you think. And life will hit you sideways. Guaranteed. Car breaks down. Job loss. Medical emergency. Global pandemic. Family crisis. Most people plan their finances, assuming everything goes perfectly right. They budget to the dollar, max out their income potential, and live right at their means. But real peace, the kind that lets you actually sleep at night, comes from preparing for when things go wrong. That's what I call building financial shock absorbers. An emergency fund isn't pessimistic. It's realistic. It's the difference between a crisis and an inconvenience. When your car breaks down and you have 3 months of expenses saved, you're annoyed but fine. When you have nothing saved, you're spiraling into debt, stress, and panic. Keep your monthly expenses well below your income. Don't over-leverage yourself just because the bank says you qualify for more. Banks want you to maximize debt. That's how they make money. But you want to minimize risk. That's how you build actual security. Hope for the best, but prepare for the unexpected. Because when chaos shows up, and it absolutely will, you don't want to be in survival mode, scrambling and stressed. You want to be in stability mode, able to handle whatever comes your way. The peace of mind that comes from financial preparation is worth way more than any material purchase. All right, let's bring this all together. Because here's the thing, none of these lessons work in isolation. Understanding compounding is useless if you blow all your money chasing status. Defining enough means nothing if you keep comparing your game to someone else's highlight reel. Having an emergency fund doesn't help if greed pushes you to invest recklessly and lose it all. These 7 lessons are like armor. One piece helps, but the full suit, that's how you stay standing when life gets brutal. So here's the system I've built, and what I suggest you do. First, know your money story. Understand where your habits come from, so you can consciously change them. Second, pick your game. Define your own version of success instead of chasing someone else's. Third, define your enough. Know when you've won so you're not trapped in an endless race. Fourth, respect the power of compounding. Start small, stay consistent, let time work for you. Fifth, ignore the status race. Build real wealth, not the appearance of wealth. Sixth, plan for chaos. Build those financial shock absorbers that let you sleep at night. And seventh, stack these habits like dominoes, because that's how real wealth is built. Not just money wealth, but mental wealth, emotional wealth, freedom wealth. Finally, action beats inspiration. None of this matters unless you actually do something about it. You can watch every financial video on YouTube. You can highlight every quote in every money book. But until you act, it's all just entertainment. So let me ask you, what's one habit you can start today? One money belief you need to unlearn? One financial goal worth showing up for every day? Pick one. Just one. And move. Because success isn't reserved for the smartest. It's reserved for the most consistent. The ones who don't just watch, but work. If this video shook something awake in you, don't let this be just another video you scroll past. Drop a comment right now, sharing one money mindset shift you're committing to. Let's build accountability together. Hit that like button if this message spoke to you, and subscribe if you're serious about building real freedom, financially, mentally, and emotionally. Remember, insight means nothing without action. So take action right now, even if it's small, even if it's scary, because the truth is, most people will keep scrolling. But the ones who win, they're the ones who decide. Thanks for watching. Thanks for choosing growth. I'll see you in the next one.